Alright guys, negotiating with suppliers. If you're not using at least some of these tips, you're not getting the best deal. 3 quick notes before we start though. 1, money talks. It's why you're in business, it's why I'm in business. 2, they will lie and stretch the truth in order to try to make more profit. And 3, you need to come across as a profitable buyer, otherwise they'll just ignore you.
So the first thing I want to talk about is time. You can't just day one say, hey, my name's Graham, give me your best price. Like, what do you think they're going to respond with? Okay, here's our absolute lowest price, and then be honest about it? No. You're going to have to spend days, if not weeks, negotiating with these suppliers. You can slowly start to then chisel down the price until you're both at a price point where you guys are equally beneficial at. But it's definitely not typical that they will give you a good price at the start, and it's going to take some time to break down those prices until it's something you're both happy with. Okay, so the next step for getting a better price is to have these suppliers bid against each other. So let's just say we're looking up yoga mats, and we have 3 factories here. They all are giving different prices on their website, and when we messaged them individually, this company, for example, said that they could give us mats at $2 for 500 minimum order quantity. They said $4 for 500 minimum order quantity, and these guys said $3.50 for 500. What we'd then do is use the price that these guys gave us and use it to get these guys to lower their price. So we would send individual messages to these 2 suppliers, just stating, hey, this factory, you don't need to name them, but they were able to give me a significantly lower price than your price. I know quality is important, but I'm going to need you to offer me a lower price in order to be able to continue working with your company. Through this, you can then begin to get them to lower their price, them to lower their price, and you can kind of work off of different factories in order to have them bidding down your price. Alright guys, so this next tip is actually the most sneaky tip I have. As you can see here, I'm on a website called 1688.com. It's actually a Chinese website, and it's the Chinese version of Alibaba.com. So this would be where perhaps your trading companies would be sourcing products from this website and then looking to resell them to you on Alibaba.com, the English version. So as you can see, I've just typed in yoga mat. I didn't have to type it in Chinese, although you can translate to Chinese if it's not giving you relevant results. And I'm just going to look through and look at some of these prices. Here we have a 16 Chinese yuan and we got 12 yuan. So we know that in China, these suppliers are trying to sell these mats for about 12 yuan. So let's look. 12 yuan is $1.74 US. So you know that these guys are offering at a pretty good price. This indicates that you know that these suppliers over on Alibaba.com, the English version, must be making a pretty good profit if they're trying to sell to you at $3 or $4. And at the very least, it's a good way to check that at the minimum, you're not getting majorly ripped off by one of these companies. So if these guys are, for example, selling it for this $1.74 equivalent, you can probably get these yoga mats on Alibaba.com for, I don't know, maybe $2 or something like that. But it just kind of gives you a good starting point, and you can even let them know, hey, I looked on 1688.com and saw prices that are much cheaper than this. So this next tip is just something that I kind of invented on the fly by myself. Essentially what I did is I got pretty close with one supplier, talked to them for a long time, and then was finally able to find a different supplier that was cheaper than them. So once I was given a better price from a different supplier, I asked them, hey, can you beat this price? They said, no, I'm sorry, we can't. And we kind of said her goodbyes. I said, okay, well, thanks for being a good salesperson. Hope you do well. But I actually went back to that supplier and later asked, right before I made my purchase from the other supplier, and said, hey, I'm not trying to buy from you. I was just hoping that since you seem like such a great person, you could help me out with this. I'm about to buy this product off this other factory. They're giving me this price. Like, can you just be honest with me and tell me, do you think this is a good price? And since we had built up somewhat of a good working relationship, she replied and said, yes, our factory can't even entertain that price, so don't worry, you are getting a good price. And it was just really nice to be given that reassurance from that factory so that I knew that I was getting a good price from my other factory. And guys, for my last tip, it's just a pretty simple one. It's just order more quantity or work with that factory to find a cheaper alternative for them. So you can say, hey, if I pay with a different payment method that saves you guys money, would you be willing to give me a slightly lower price? Or, hey, I know this part of your manufacturing is very expensive. Like, maybe we could use a cheaper alternative to save you guys money. And I kind of always frame it as, hey, I'd like to save you guys some money so that you guys are more profitable. But obviously, you're also pushing for a lower price because of this. So just kind of work with your supplier, see what you can do to cut the costs with them. Obviously, shipping or ordering more are two big variables that you can use to lower your prices. But yeah, it's just a pretty simple way of trying to work with your supplier in order to get a lower price. And that pretty much concludes it. I hope you guys have enjoyed those 5 quick tips. I'd really appreciate if you guys would subscribe to me if I've been at all helpful for you, and feel free to leave comments if you have any questions.